Palava I le mamalu le atu nuu, ia o mawhai ona whaafonga mai le nei tū la, ia o tatou polkalame masani le nei, ia mo Tupulaga taravou, pe ona masani ai as whareili taitasi, ia ma ua ma whaatasi ai ma le tamaitai, ia Divine Mercy Williams, ia o taitai ulu lea o le Kolisi o St. Mary's, ia I Wellington. Talofa lava Divine, thank you for accepting our invitation to be on our program this afternoon. Yeah. If you can briefly introduce yourself, your name and your school.
Ja, talofa Kesila, malofo le soifua. Ia mo le vi inga, ma le whaafitai le atua mo le nei asu matangofie. Mo fo I ona whaatalofa atu le pa ia ma le mamalu o Samoa o whaafongafonga mai. O lo ingoa o Norrie Divine Mercy Williams. E sifulufitu o tausanga ma e tualua na uso. O lo utama o waafusuanga Edward Etty Williams mai le alalafanga o Wailutai ma whenga. O lo tina o Hatesa Williams mai sa whatu o le whanga ma alafua. O tea unga I le kolisi o Sangata Maria I Wellington ma o wa o le taitai ulu le kolisi.
Yeah, thank you, Mahalo lava. Growing up in New Zealand, how did you navigate being both Samoan and a New Zealander, and how do you keep your Samoan culture alive as a youth while living here in New Zealand?
So to me, growing up in New Zealand as a Samoan meant that I had to balance two worlds or like two different cultures. So like at home and at church, I'm grounded in, the Samoa and values like respect, service and family. And then at school and in the wider society, I try to embrace the different opportunities that New Zealand has to offer, But yeah, I try to keep my Samoan culture alive through my language, church involvement, family traditions, and staying connected in my faith and with my elders.
Malo, how do you feel your identity has been shaped by living in New Zealand, perhaps through your family or church community?
Yeah, so living in New Zealand has shaped me to be adaptable and open-minded, while my family and my church have shaped my values. They've taught me discipline and humility and resilience and stuff like that, but my identity is a blend of both cultures, and I think that's a strength that I have in me.
Thank you. I believe you are Catholic. Yeah. How important is your religion to you, and how has it shaped your personal and academic journey?
Yeah, so my religion is a very, very strong and important aspect of my life. It guides my decisions, shapes my character, and reminds me to stay humble and to serve others. Academically, it motivates me to work hard and use my gifts wisely, knowing that everything I achieve is part of a bigger purpose, not just for myself, but for my family and my community and for God,
Aftai, what do you hope to give back to your community when you graduate college and university based on your majors, and if you can also share your majors with us?
Yeah, so this year my main subjects are biology, physics, calculus, alongside English and religious studies, which is compulsory in our school. But through my studies, I hope to give back by serving my community professionally, and being a positive role model for those younger generations. I want to help create, opportunities for Pacific youth and show them that higher education and leadership is possible.
Thank you. Do you have any other commitments outside of being head girl? I'm sure that you do, that you would like to share with us. I understand that you are a committed Taekwondo athlete and you won a medal last year. If you can share that experience with us, and how do you think that experience shaped your journey?
So Taekwondo has been a very big part of my life. I've been doing it for 11 years now, and last year I competed and I was chosen to represent New Zealand in the Taekwondo World Championships held in Croatia back in last October. So we had trials in the beginning of March, and I was selected early April. And so from then on, I just had to be committed to trainings, and heaps of trainings after school, heaps of trainings throughout the week and the weekends as well. So basically, from then on up until October, it was just training non-stop and being committed. But yeah, we went over to Croatia last October, and I was blessed to have won a gold medal in my junior girls power breaking division. Yeah.
Thank you. Can you explain the responsibilities of being a head girl at St. Mary's College, and what are your roles within the school?
Yeah, so as head girl at St. Mary's, my main role is to represent the student body, and support, school events, lead assemblies, and work alongside students and teachers and my other leadership leaders. But basically, I just serve as a role model, but also advocate the schools in our own school and to other schools in Wellington and the wider society. But yeah, I just mainly support those who need it and lead our students, and yeah.
Thank you, Divine. Divine, in your experience as head girl of St. Mary's College, how has this role influenced your academic journey, and how do you balance your responsibilities as being head girl of St. Mary's College and your work and personal life? You've mentioned that you were an athlete for Taekwondo and it took a lot of commitment, but balancing that with being head girl of St. Mary's College, how do you manage to cope with that?
So I think growing up, I've always had heaps of stuff going on, and I've always had a busy schedule. So I think I adapted, from a very young age, but now it's just a constant just schedule. So I'm pretty used to it now. But but this role has also helped me to become more organized and responsible, taking on all these new responsibilities and new leadership roles. It's just important to get into that right mindset and stay focused on every little thing that's happening around me. But yeah, I've learned how to manage my time and my schoolwork alongside leadership duties and my personal life. But yeah, it's taught me discipline and how to stay focused on my goals. No more procrastinating, staying on target and staying on goal, not just for myself, but as a role model to others around me, the younger students. But yeah, this role has also motivated me to work harder because, obviously I know that younger students are looking up to me and they expect a lot of me. But yeah.
Do you think there were any mental health struggles that you've had in balancing your role as head girl and your personal commitments in life as well?
Yes, definitely. But there's only one person to turn to, and that's God. I feel like God has helped me along this whole journey, and He's helped me to get to where I am today. And I think that's very important. Yeah.
Thank you. Speaking of mental health, do you think it's one of the growing problems that you have witnessed in your school and community that the youth are facing today, and what are some ways that you, in the position that you are, can address these challenges?
I'd say mental health, it is becoming a bigger problem in our society today, especially with stuff like social media getting popular, but also the youth, stress from school and sometimes even doubting themselves. It's just getting to a serious point now, but today I believe we can help this by creating safer platforms on social media, not supporting those in need who are struggling with mental health, and creating spaces where people feel supported and heard, encouraging kindness and mentoring, and even just strong friendships that can help students feel more confident and supported.
Thank you. Any new projects set for this year as head girl and your team of prefects, and what new initiatives do you wish to implement this year for St. Mary's College?
Yeah, no, this year we're hoping to create more opportunities for those in the student leadership team and those who are not, to be more confident and more outgoing in our school events and stuff like that. But as a school as a whole, we are wanting to get out there a little bit more and collab more with the Wellingtonian schools, because we have this new thing called the Pōneke High School Leadership Team, and that's basically all the leaders from the Wellington schools. We're trying to get more involved in collabs with each other and helping each other, make a more impact in our community, in the Wellington community. Yeah.
Thank you. Can you share with us your school's mission and vision? And I just want to ask if there are many students from other congregations who are attending St. Mary's College, and what is their experience being in St. Mary's College? So our school's mission focuses on faith and excellence and service and caring for others. We live by our values such as tika, which means doing what is right, manakitanga, which means showing respect and kindness, atawhai, which means caring for others, and awhinatanga, which means helping and supporting others, and puaroha, which means showing love and compassion. So our school, we try to live that through our actions and our words. And so people from other congregations, they're welcome to join our school, and I think everyone feels like they belong, and we try to include that in our everyday lives at school, so everyone doesn't feel left out, because I know they're from other religions and other congregations, but when we come together we all feel like we're one. Thank you. For our closing questions for our last segment, who do you credit for your journey so far?
Obviously my parents are really up there, my family, my church community. They have supported me, guided me, and made sacrifices so that I could have better opportunities and a better future. I also acknowledge my family in Samoa, whose prayers and encouragement continue to inspire me.
Thank you. Who do you truly believe is behind your success in your academic journey and personal life as well, and why? I believe your parents were both teachers.
Yes, they
well.
are.
How has education shaped your life as well, having your parents as teachers and teaching other younger students? How has that impacted you?
Having a physics teacher as a dad and economics teacher as for a mum, it's been really helpful. I think it's economics, I'm not sure, but it's been really helpful, because like when I get stuck on my schoolwork or just stuff like that, I could always go to them and they could always help me. But also I truly believe that God is behind my successes. My faith reminds me that my talents and my gifts are with hard work. My talents and my gifts are from Him, and with my hard work I always trust in Him, and with Him anything is possible. So got to give up to God, but then I also believe my family and my community are also part of it as well, because their love and their support and their prayers have helped me become who I am today.
Thank you. And my last question before we finish our program, what is your advice to our youth in New Zealand, students who may be in other different colleges and schools here, or listeners from Samoa who are doubting themselves and holding back on their potentials?
So my advice to youth is to believe in yourself and never let fear stop you. Sometimes you may doubt yourself, but you are capable of more than you think. like staying focused and working hard and trusting in your journey is really important, because your background doesn't, and your struggles, they don't really limit you, but they make you stronger, and it's a strength, not a weakness. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Divine. Any last words before we finish our program?
I'd just like to say thank you for having me on this show. It's been a really great opportunity and blessing to be here. So thank you, Kesila, and thank you, Samoa Capital Radio, for inviting me today.
Thank you so much, Divine. Ia, whawhatai atu I le mamalu tatou atunuu. Ia, mo le whaafongfonga mai fo le Naples, kalame tā aua mo Tupulaga talavou. Taimi fo ilawe tasi ilwai aso fou, ia o le atu e whaawawai. Ia tatou pol kalame mo Tupulaga talavou I lunga o le siufonga lau mua, ia matautua tatou litio. Ia inei New Zealand porua, au taimi nei, whaafatai tele, manuia, ia fofuanga tutoi le nei aso, so I fuama ia manuia.